Hey folks, Ben from eXplorminate, and welcome to this Let's Play series of Shadow Empire, one of my favourite games. So, where were we in the last episode? Well, looky here. We've got the town of Jura. In fact, I think it's a town. It's completely surrounded. We were throwing our men at the walls in an effort to clear our back lawn of these unpleasant raiders that are squatting there. Reclaiming our rightful territory, of course. Now, the best way for me to do this at this time, or at least I thought, was just to surround them. But we can't starve these guys out. That's because the raiders always get some kind of supply. At least I think that's if I'm understanding the manual right, that's how it works. Somebody very kindly pointed out that these tanks aren't going to be doing so good on these mountains. If we just have a quick look. Yeah, the tanks and motorized get a big attack modifier and a penalty, a big attack penalty, and also a defense penalty too. So we really don't want to be having these tanks sat on these cliffs. So they're going to be moved in the next turn. Also, I just thought I'd point out that the game should be running a little bit quicker now. Now, this has nothing to do with the game. Well, not quite. I use a 1440p monitor, and I noticed that this game has upscaling. So I was using the upscaling, but I found that it slowed things down a little bit. So it's much quicker now if I don't upscale it. So please don't judge the performance of the game based on the settings that I had this on. Now I've dropped it back down to 1080p, and it's really smooth and quick. It looks great. So, and it's just as clear and nice to look at. So with that in mind, I think we've done everything we need to do for this turn. We've moved all our units, and we're just checking our supply. We've got plenty of supply going up to this siege encampment up here in Jura, so we can continue on. At the start of the game, these AI thinking time turns don't take too long. When you're about 100, 150 turns in, they can get quite lengthy. And I've got quite a beast of a computer with a decent CPU, and even then they do take some time because there's obviously a lot of calculations that are going on, but it's really not a big thing. Okay, so we're still in the crisis of passion, or we're entering a crisis of passion, which is just a hilarious idea. That your organization faction has created one new stratagem, the Zoo Project. I've not seen this one before. A place to relax and learn for the whole family. It will provide education opportunities and give a sense of something. Okay, let's just have a quick look at that. I wonder where that would be. Excuse me. There we go. So it must be played in a friendly zone, and it gives an extra level of zoo asset for the selected zone. And it's only 5 political points. We've got plenty of political points. That might be worth playing on Richter Snow.
Aye, aye, sir.
There we go. So we've constructed a zoo. This should, I expect this will raise our quality of life with regards to entertainment. There we go. Here's the zoo, and let's see what it does. These private assets are completely outside your control. They produce quality of life points for the zone, for the benefit of the population, but also for workers. Excellent. That's exactly what we want. So anything that can get our quality of life up quickly is good as far as I'm concerned. Let us move these tanks into a position where they're going to be a bit more useful. Secondly, I'm going to join these tanks together as well. So, how many units do we have here? Are these guys? No, they're on planes. Okay, so let's move the tanks here. And then the next thing we want to do, we can use this transfer command, because they are part of the same unit, or they're part of the same type, I should say. We should be able to select them, and because they have the same table of equipment, which means they have the capability to be able to transfer these from one another, because each one has the same type of equipment in there. So we're just going to transfer that. Okay, so that did it. So we've now got 20 tanks in here in this GR Velociraptors, and as it was pointed out to me, I want to look after those. We can't get any more of these until much later in the game. Medium tanks aren't that hard to get, but medium tanks and lasers, that's a little bit different. So the morale, our troops' morale is quite low. I don't know if you noticed, but if you see this little heart icon here, the stable high morale is 74. That I think that's because we've started paying them. Is that right? Let me just ask. It's always worth calling your secretary to check the salaries. It only costs 1 political point. Ah, no. So we're not paying our soldiers anything. They are literally throwing themselves at the walls of a raider encampment for my amusement and and for nothing more than the love of it. So we need to start paying these guys. Now, we don't have much money at the moment, but if we pay them a few credits around, that will significantly raise their morale. It's also worth just raising, I think we can raise the people's salaries all around. So the advisors, the council directors, the zone governors. This is not going to affect our payment to our income too much. Oh, that's a little bit of a, I think that's a little bit of a bug there. So yeah, and we're going to just put all their salaries up ever so slightly. And you'll notice that everybody likes that action because everyone likes being paid more, particularly the soldiers. So we've increased their morale now, and that is a really important thing to do. We're being asked to set the national budget for the year. You'll notice that we've actually, if we mouse over this, it tells you what round it is, and it also tells you what season you're in. So we're in season 2 of 6. So it's usually at this kind of time that we start getting asked for the national budget. Now, I still want the Economic Council to be pumping out most of our research. Military research is also important, but I really desperately want to get some of these power production techs that come right at the start. Now we've discovered padded environment suit, barracks, and hospital. They're all really useful, but we want one of these energy techs, and I don't actually want to research these until we've got power plant, university, and solar energy. These are all really important technologies. University not only raises quality of life, but it also, I think, gives you a boost to your morale, to your research. So it's really important to get that early. So we'll keep the budget as it is. And with the Economic Council, I want to just push up discovery because I'm really keen to get those early techs. And I'm not bothered about economic policy. I'm really not bothered about that at all. What I want is, I really want to get discovery. It's important that we get those early techs. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the state of our other troops. Now, we built these recon buggies, and I think the reason why I bought these was because I wanted to bring them here, so that we've got some more recon on here. We still can't see it. That's interesting. Yeah, we've still only got 33 recon points. We need more than that. With this unit here, I'm going to continue to push back. Has that increased? Just interested to see if we have any, if we're getting danger here. If there's any, I can't remember where it shows it. It's in one of these. Excuse me. No problem. Okay, let's just, I'm going to try and push these barriers back a bit. Yeah, it's non-aligned forces again. And we found some more metal. And let's just have a look here. Okay, so up here, social lands, between social lands and forest steppe, deep in the desert, these militia are still pushing back our boundary. So we're pushing the territory even further into the frontier. Brave souls that they are. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if I've shown this before, but this is the urgent issues screen, and the urgent issue screen is great. It tells you anything, well, any urgent issues that you have. So we've got the SHQ's got units with bad supply, so that's all the militia units. And the First Light Infantry Brigade has units with bad supply. So let's just see where these are. Hit the 6 button, and that shows you where all your supply is. So yeah, I think it's talking about these guys. Everyone else around here, that's right. These guys aren't receiving supply. Let's see what's going on. What are they lacking? They're lacking ammunition. We have plenty of ammunition in supply, so it's just clearly not getting there. How many of those logistic points we use this turn? Just... Well, they should... Ah, I see. They should all be getting everything that they need. Okay. With that in mind, let's see if we can do some damage. Try and find some with decent readiness. No, I don't get a range attack. Just check there. I just want to have a look at what their entrenchment is like. Yeah, I think we managed to knock down their entrenchment pretty low. Yeah, it's very low. I think we can probably take this turn. Let's just see if we can just pile everybody in rather unceremoniously and whittle them down. Oh, and most importantly, something else that somebody advised me to do, and this is something I do actually know, and I should have known better. Don't put your HQ unit in combat. We were quite lucky because our commander, whose name is Lyra Ironsight, she has personal combat, so this is likely why she survived. And she also has escape artists as well, and that might also help. However, we really don't want her to be in combat. Even though she does have some units, she's got 500 GIs. It's just not enough to make for it to be worth her risking being in the battle. So let's try and find some match of units that. Yeah, I think we're going to have to put the buggies into. Now you'll see here we've got the regular overstack modifier for attack penalties. This modifier is applied if you're attacking with more stack points than can tactically be optimally deployed. So this shows you, this is basically saying that you've got too many units attacking from the same place, so they can't really hope to get in there. So it might be wise for us to drop off some of these units that, yeah, you see we get a bonus for not including some of these. So let's drop a few of these units out. We're also lacking on supply for some of them. And this is a modifier. This modifier turns negative if you're committing too much firepower onto too little quantity of targets. I'm just going to do this anyway. Let's see how this battle goes. These guys really don't have much entrenchment left. They might hold. Okay, it looks like they held. And they probably did more damage to us than we did to them. Okay, typical siege. We do want more troops here. Let me see what else we've got. We still have a unit here that we've not moved. Now, I'm just going to see if I can push these borders back just a little bit more. This guy's going to be well out of supply, however, ever since the Odessa Federation moved in on our road, so might be worth. We don't actually have any industrial points. Now, why don't we have any industrial points this turn? We did actually build this mine. We have a metal mine up and running now. I don't know if you can see, but we have actually got quite a lot of metal. We've actually got quite a lot of money too. We are starting to lose food, so this is something we do need to sort out quite soon. And we are building an ice mine. Now, this might be why we're taking the hit to our industrial points there. So we can't really build much at the moment. These guys are going to have to deal with this situation on their own. I'm going to see if we've got any strategic cards that we can play. I don't think those raiders are going to break out of here, in all honesty. So it might just be a matter of just spending a few turns throwing our men at those walls. Let's see how the turn treats us. Okay, so we were attacked. Elections have been held, and Reformist Army, who were the old majority, won the elections with 78% of the vote. That was quite a comfortable win there. The Crisis of Passion is on turn 4 of 11. We've discovered a new tech, high velocity guns. So this is, he says, if you look at a gun design, it's actually relatively easy to increase the muzzle speed. Researching this would allow equipping models with high velocity guns. Now, high velocity guns we put on our tanks, so we can start thinking about tanks, artillery, that kind of stuff. Although I think it's howitzers that the oh no, the artillery can use high velocity or howitzers. Howitzers generally affect soft targets best, and high velocity guns affect hard targets best. So you might want a mix of those early on in the game. Let's just see how our men are holding up. Well, they don't seem to be doing too bad. Their readiness is not that low. Let's have a look. Oh, it is actually quite low. And they're out of supply too. I want to know what it is that's causing this supply issue, because we should have plenty. Okay. We've got 601 supply points, which is more than enough to feed all these. It might be something to do with the fact that they are actually currently engaged. Well, I'm going to carry on moving, and we're going to push some of these, these borders a little bit further back. Yeah, we can't get it much closer. I just wanted to... I really want to get eyes on these guys, but they're really well hidden. These guys will be running out of food. Oh no, they're okay. They're still in supply. Apparently. That's interesting. I would have thought that they would have chewed through their supplies by now. I am going to move them back though, because we don't want to move them too far out of the supply range. And we've got one last unit up here. Okay. And they are well out of supply. Yeah, we're going to have to bring those guys back. What will happen is, if you leave your units out of supply, particularly if they don't have food or fuel if they're vehicles, they will eventually not be able to move until you get supply to them. And that's not good. You don't want that to happen. Okay. Let's just take a look at her. If we go into the report screen, and we can look at the HQs, it might be able to give us some news as to what's going on. So yeah, these guys had plenty of food. Consume 9 of 9 food. Plus 20 readiness. Okay. Before we deal with this siege, let's just see what decisions we've got to make. Okay, these militia are demanding extra funds. They're doing this every turn now, and this is kind of a problem. If we want a strong militia force, we need to maintain good relations with them. And this is, John Dark, Pax John Dark does not like this. He doesn't like the militia. So every time we give them money, this is going to be a problem. This could be an issue for us, because we've got one faction, the Justice Knights, who really seem to like militia, or they've got people in them that like militia. And then we've got these guys, the Reformist Army, who aren't militias. They don't like the militia at all. And they seem to be voting for everything against. Now, when the game is released and you get a chance to look at the manual, there is some reason why the Reformists behave like this, and there is kind of some hints in the manuals, in the lore of the game. And Vic's written some nice lore, nice story that goes with the game. So let's just, I'm gonna have to give it them, aren't I? And I'm gonna have to pay that guy off. The new organization option. So at the start of the game, the bureaucratic cost, or sorry, the political point cost for starting these new organizations is relatively cheap, and it scales up with each new organization that you get, which basically stops you from getting them all very early on. The Model Design Council is probably a good bet for the next one, because this will enable us to research new models for our military. And now we need to find a research objective. So do we go for the padded envirosuits, or do we go for high velocity guns? And I'm going to go for the guns, because this will enable us to build artillery. Howitzers will be another good one that we want to go for. In fact, I'm not sure if high velocity guns gives us howitzers too. Let's just check. We can actually check. If we go to, it will be model. We'll find out once we've actually researched high velocity guns. At the moment, all we've done is we've discovered it, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. Okay, let's get out of here. So yeah. Oh, the threat of war. First citizen of Isran commune has contacted us that his raiders are ready and willing to invade us. He noted that he is, however, reasonable, and a small payment of 600 credits will buy them off. These guys aren't going to like it. However, we're not able to really raise too many more men until we've got more food coming in. So we haven't got any industrial points either. I'm going to have to bribe them. We have got the money, but this is unfortunate.
Roger that.
We've paid the bribe. I don't know if that's raised our relations with them. I think not. Now we can enter into a scientific cooperation agreement with the Morbihan commune. This is the major faction that we met here. Now, I've in another game that I'm playing offline, I had a major faction who was also kind of friendly sat here. They don't always stay friendly for long, and it will be easier for us to take this early on than later, because later in the game, if we decide to expand, say, to the south or the east or the west rather than in this sort of northwest direction, you may find that these guys also do their own expanding, and then when it is time to fight them, we're going to come up against 4 hexes thick full of infantry and tanks and artillery and walkers and all sorts of other things. So we do have to consider whether it might be wiser to take them out sooner. But I did have the thought that it might be interesting to sort of examine some of the diplomatic game mechanics and the espionage system and that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of options that you get later on in the game, especially when you start heading down the diplomacy and meritocracy levels, and some of these other governments and all this kind of stuff. There are some interesting cards that you get to play. So I'm going through autocracy at the moment because it just gives us some nice bonuses, but I'm not going to stay there. I'm going to explore some of the other stuff, I think, this time round. Well, those raiders are going to be back. Which ones was it? Was it these? No, it wasn't them. Let's just have a look at the strategic map. I can't remember which ones it was now. Isran commune, I think it was them, wasn't it? So yeah, it's these guys. We don't really want to have to fight more than one war at once. I'd like to once we've got Jura, no, there's no problem. I don't think with our lack of ammunition we're going to do much good. Sorry, not lack of ammunition, with the lack of supply. This is going to be a bit of a difficult mission. However, the odds are looking better now. They've only got 23% entrenchment. That's the modifier that we're getting. Oops, let's just take some of these guys out.
Do it now.
This is looking more promising. Let's just zoom out and just get an overall look. Oh, it's going to be close. No, they've held again. Now we are starting to lose troops in our regular units, so we're going to have to replace them. I think we can probably do that. These guys are nearly done, though. They are nearly done. I think next turn, provided we can put our troops into supply properly, we should be able to finish them off. So we've got a few more decisions to respond to. Yeah, so let's go for this scientific cooperation. I think that's a good idea. Let's see if we can foster a good relationship with these guys. Morbihan commune, its parliament turns against us. The otherwise always calm and practical parliament of Morbihan commune is trying to turn their first citizen against us, and worse, they seem to be swaying first citizen of Morbihan commune. However, the majority of our opponents in their parliament is rather slim. A minor political influencing operation might well decrease their majority. Right, it's asking, do we want to send envoys to promote us? Now, the difficulty roll is 120, and we get 1d20 plus 23. There's no way that we're going to be able to succeed at that. Highly unlikely. We'd have to roll a 93 or more. So let's just go no for this. And this is rolling on some kind of story that the game has scripted, I believe. So we now have this mine up and running. We're still running low on these industrial points. This will be because we're building something else, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Was it this? It's this this ice mine. Now we're waiting. We need to buy another. We need to buy some more machinery. There is a tech later on that allows you to build machines without having to manufacture them yourself using... You can manufacture them yourself. You need rare earth metals and lots of metals. But later on there's an industry that just allows you to buy them or to build them yourself. And but it's quite late in the game, or it's about halfway through the game, I guess. I do want to get these radioactive mines active because we can make loads of money from those. Like providing that there's a market for it elsewhere on the planet, which there probably will be. I mean, if we're just looking at the trade at the moment, they are selling them at 73. So yeah, that's not bad. Okay, I think we can't build anything here. We just need to wait for this ice mine to be created. Once we've got more water, then we can start farming. I'm actually really excited about how this game could go, because the other game that I was playing offline, I was playing on a sort of Earth-like world. I forget what it's called now. Is it the Seawar class? But I think it's that one. And in that one, there's lots and lots of arable land, so you can and your population grows very quickly. So there's a huge amount of population that is available for your military. So the battles become very, very big. On this one, there's gonna be less people, I think, and less food. Okay, so we've hit a new epoch, and we've received 4 new stratagems. We've got this one, this docile AI. This gives us an early walker unit, which is really useful. This is really useful, and I might well play this. And there's a few others that we can take a look at. Another archaeology effort card. So it might be worth playing this card now. We only get 3 fate points at the start. Well, I think we get 2 at the start, but we've only got 3 now, so we have to be a little bit careful. This one gives us an extra level of school in the selected zone. That will enable us to build a bit, to grow faster. This raises the happiness of the selected zone, worker happiness. Yeah, I'm gonna actually play this, and I'm gonna play it. Yeah, we just target it here. I'm not quite sure where it will deploy. Our troops in Richter Snow found a group of 10 dormant sentinels and managed to approach, enter, and control them. They have been immediately deployed. That's great news. Let's see where they've arrived. There they are. Look. So we can bring these guys down. In fact, they'll be there ready to attack on the next turn. I do think that we're probably going to be able to beat these guys this turn. Their readiness is quite low. We've thinned their numbers down significantly. This unit here, this raider unit here, is still not doing too badly. Yeah. Let's look at our decisions first. Neon Void wants to execute relative. Well, how pleasant. I know this is irregular, but my honour is involved here. My son has committed a crime against an allied family. They demand justice. I'd like to pass the sentence myself and execute my own family member. It's best that way. You sick little puppy. Okay, Guy Neon Void. He's the governor of our only zone, so we want to keep him happy here. Let's just have a look at our... I forget what this is called. The regime profile bar. Let's just see what we want. If we allow him, we're going to get enforcement, which we're already zooming up in anyway, and we're going to get heart, and heart is going to, yeah, we can go higher in heart too. That's not a problem. And then there's a third option, and the third option is kind of, you know, just reproaching him for even asking. Now this would make our people much happier. We'll drop enforcement, and it will raise fist. However, we'll get a big we'll get a big penalty with Guy Neon Void here, and we don't want this, so I'm going to allow it for the time being. I think this is a good opportunity to boost our relations. New director for Model Design Council. This guy might be okay. Well, he does science. I'm not sure if that's, you know, this is not really a science council. I think model design is technician, if I remember right. Yeah, model design, discovery and design. So he'll do it a pinch. We'll just add this guy. He's our best option here. And model design council task priority. So let's put most of it into discovery right now, and then the actual design just 25. And I'll remember to change that once we've actually discovered something. So we can now have the option to develop a new model. Now the models are these are the playing pieces that you're playing with your armies, right? So you already have some research. So we've already got some infantry, machine guns, machine gunners, trucks, and recon buggies. Now we don't get the option to actually develop any more until we've discovered some. So next, for example, we're probably likely to discover something like artillery, or small tanks, something like this. So for now, it's wise for us to let's just see if we can build a better infantryman. I don't know if we've got any technology to be able to do this, but it's worth a look. So what we can do, you can either select a brand new design, which costs more bureaucracy points, or you can build upon the one that you've already got. So if we just try to build on the one we've already got, this is worthwhile doing. Look, so we've got some guys with slug throwers, which is the very basic raider quality firearm, small firearm that we use on our infantry. And then we've got carbine, and this is 25 firepower more. It takes slightly more ammo and slightly more industrial points to make, but let's do this. We'll just give them the Enviro suit that they've already got. So this shouldn't take too long. I'm more interested actually at this time discovering something else. Ancient statue discovered in Richter Snow. Okay, so they found a nice statue and they want to. We could scrap it and gain 900 credits, or we could restore it to its former glory and we could gain government points in the process. Raising autocracy is always good, so let's do that. Also, the other option would have severely affected one of my leaders, and we have to keep away from that. Okay, as predicted, these guys have now actually run out of supply, so let's get them back down somewhere where they can actually start reaching it. Yeah, they should be able to get enough food to be able to make it back. That was a bit slack of me to do that. Okay, so we've got some kind of raider here. I'm just going to keep pushing these back a little way. Let's get these two. See if we can research. See if we can find anything here. But we'll need to address this quite quickly. Unfortunately, that's not something we can do until we've got more. Until we've got more water. We could potentially just build the farm anyway. But yeah, it's the water's the issue. All that will happen is basically the farm would start would use the water, and then it would stop working because it's just not gaining any more water. So you don't want to do things in that order, really. That's just a really inefficient way of doing things. Okay, so the ice mine's actually finished construction this turn. So next turn we can start building more people. We could probably actually build a formation now. I'm trying to think what might be useful. I'm pretty sure with this Walker's help we're going to take this. We'll take Jura now. So yeah, let us build. Let's go to a race formation. We could build another light infantry brigade so that we've got something to defend with. It will only be half strength again, but we're going to need at least a few light infantry brigades anyway. I do like the machine gun brigade. These ones are also good. They're much better in defense. Machine guns are exceptionally effective in defense, but if infantry get a negative 50% bonus to their soft attack when they're on the attack, then machine guns get another 50% bonus penalty, to their soft attack when they're on attack. So they are highly defensive, but they're really, really poor in attack. So they're situationally useful, but I think that they're worth going for. So I am actually going to do this. I think I'm going to build a machine gun infantry brigade here, and let's raise this formation. And our machine guns are called Zero Guns. So let's just have a look at these units. They're comprised of 200 GIs and 200 Zero Guns. And as you can see, I'll just compare the two. The GIs have got 20 soft attack and 40 soft defense. That's because infantry are much better in defense. But if you see the machine guns, they're 20 soft attack, 22 soft attack, but 89 in defense. So they've got a really high attack rating, but it's you only get 25% of it or so with the machine guns. So they are really, really best off used in defense. However, these raider units, if you park some units with machine guns next to them, they're not going to get through them. They really will struggle. Okay, we're doing good, guys. We're doing good. Let's just move these Let's move these back round. We're not getting any grief off these. They're just sort of, they're just defending whatever this place, this brothel, the Red Bar. This is obviously the Raiders' favourite brothel, and they're saying, no, Ben, you're not taking this. You're taking our fun away. Yeah, we can't really go much further down here. I'm kind of interested to know why it wasn't that they're not suffering from any supply issues. That's quite intriguing. I'm going to test this. I'm going to push this further back, and I'm interested to see if they will actually suffer any supply issues next turn. Okay. What we could do is... okay. Now here's another thing that I've not explained yet. In my games previously, I was erroneously cutting off the supply to things that I didn't feel like I needed. So, for example, this here, we've got... they're building a dome farm. Now, if you're not getting any supply to these hex bonuses, they won't actually do anything for you. So you need 100 supply points or logistic points in order to get something like a mine to work. Yeah. So actually, this mine's not going to be working as good as it could be because it's only getting 50 supply points. So you really need 100. Now, if it's a privately owned thing, it only needs 50. So this is okay with just 50 here, but I'm gonna ease this restriction up a little bit so that we're actually getting more supply, so we can get more. And unfortunately, that's going to cut it off slightly for this place. But we do need to get more. We need to start pushing more logistics up this way, and we can do that by just reducing the limit that we've put onto that road there. So on the next turn, you'll see that we're going to get the full 100, and I'm not sure if that will actually show on this. I don't know if we were to click on it, it would tell you. Yeah, start of this turn, asset log. Let's just have a look. See, this is all information. This is why this game is so detailed. Every single asset on the map, it records everything that's going on. So it tells you that it's paid for its workers. It's got all its upkeep costs. Asset needed 100 LIS points on trajectory, but only 59 LIS were available, so production was minus 41%. This is what I'm talking about. It wasn't getting enough production this turn, so we didn't actually get that many metals out. So I was an idiot for doing this in my last game, but I was running most of my mining operations and farming operations at like sort of 20-30% for the whole game. So it wasn't a very optimal way of playing. Well, okay guys, I'm going to end the episode there. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying it, and the game should start speeding up a little bit now because we've explained most of what's going on. So okay, take it easy guys, and I'll see you later.